Aurangzeb, controversial conqueror of India. Join us as we unravel the life and reign of Aurangzeb, also known as Alamgir I, a ruler who left an indelible mark on Indian history. From his ascetic lifestyle to his strict interpretation of Islam and Sharia, Aurangzeb's reign was marked by contrasts and conflicts. Explore the controversies surrounding his rule, including the defacement of Hindu temples, forced conversions, and the impact on intercommunal relations. Was he an anti-hero whose legacy divided nations, or a ruler whose vision clashed with the idea of a unified world? Aurangzeb, whose full name was Abu Muzaffar Mohiuddin Muhammad Aurangzeb Alamgir, was born on November 3, 1618, as the third son of Shah Jahan, the fifth Mughal emperor renowned for his architectural masterpiece, the Taj Mahal. Aurangzeb's early life was marked by an eventful childhood as a result of a rebellion by his own father, Shah Jahan. This rebellion led to him spending part of his formative years as a kind of hostage at the court of his grandfather, Emperor Jahangir. Following Emperor Jahangir's death in 1627, Aurangzeb returned to his family. In accordance with Mughal tradition, Shah Jahan assigned various administrative roles to his sons. In 1634, Aurangzeb was appointed the governor of the Deccan region, and he established his seat of governance in Kirki, which he later renamed Aurangabad. In 1637, he entered into matrimony. His tenure in the Deccan was relatively peaceful, but tensions grew in the Mughal court due to Shah Jahan's increasing favoritism towards his eldest son, Dara Shikoh. In 1644, a tragic incident shook the family when Aurangzeb's sister, Jahanara Begum, suffered severe burns in Agra. This incident led to a family crisis that held significant political implications. Aurangzeb's delayed return to Agra after the event strained his relationship with his father, resulting in his dismissal as governor. Aurangzeb later claimed he resigned in protest of Shah Jahan's preference for Dara Shikoh. Despite his challenges, Aurangzeb's career saw various appointments as governor, including in Gujarat, Balkh, and Badakhshan. He showcased his military prowess in these regions, gaining fame for his ability to lead troops effectively even amidst battles. He was later appointed the governor of Multan and Sindh and engaged in a prolonged military conflict against the Persian army, attempting to capture the city of Kandahar. However, he was unsuccessful in this endeavor and fell into further disfavor with his father. In 1652, Aurangzeb was once again appointed as the governor of the Deccan. This period marked a significant change in both Aurangzeb's approach and the circumstances of the region. The Deccan was struggling to provide adequate tax revenue to the Mughals, and Aurangzeb embarked on a mission to reform the tax system. However, his reforms often imposed additional burdens on the local populace, leading to resentment. During this time, Aurangzeb's actions and policies became more stringent. He began to destroy Hindu temples and restrict practices such as sacred prostitution by temple dancers. Furthermore, his officers started treating non-Muslims harshly, a trend that he defended in correspondence with Shah Jahan's court. These actions would later become recurring themes in his rule as the emperor. In his pursuit of increasing revenues, Aurangzeb launched military campaigns against border kingdoms, including Golconda and Bijapur, in 1657 and 1658, respectively. However, Shah Jahan's interventions in these campaigns created ambiguity and complexity, leading some to believe that Prince Dara may have influenced these decisions behind the scenes. In the year 1657, an era of grandeur and political complexity took a gripping turn as Shah Jahan, the illustrious Mughal emperor, fell critically ill. Whispers of his impending demise spread like wildfire, setting the stage for a tumultuous battle for the throne. Amidst the uncertainty, Dara Shikoh, Shah Jahan's eldest son, was deemed the rightful heir, but destiny had more intricate plans in store. As news of Shah Jahan's supposed passing reached eager ears, chaos erupted. A swift move by Shah Shuja, the second son, saw him audaciously declaring himself emperor in the fertile lands of Bengal. However, Dara and his father's loyal forces swiftly converged, quelling Shuja's ambitions and forcing him to retreat. But the tale didn't end there. In the western lands of Gujarat, the youngest prince, Murad Bakhsh, unfurled his own ambitions, buoyed by clandestine support from the cunning Aurangzeb. Like a storm gathering its fury, Aurangzeb's journey began, sweeping north from Aurangabad, weaving a tapestry of alliances with nobles and generals. Triumphs and victories soon adorned Aurangzeb's path, leading him to boldly declare that Dara had wrongfully seized the throne. Shah Jahan, steadfast in his belief in Dara's rightful claim, bequeathed control of the empire to his favored son. A vivid spectacle of power struggles unfolded, with Dara's forces clashing violently against Aurangzeb's relentless armies. Agra, the iconic Red Fort, witnessed a fierce siege, and as Dara's prospects dwindled, he fled, leaving Shah Jahan behind in a tense standoff. The grandeur of the Red Fort, where Shah Jahan was confined, stood in stark irony, nestled in close proximity to his magnum opus, the ethereal Taj Mahal. Aurangzeb orchestrated a striking twist in the tale, having Murad Bakhsh imprisoned, thereby swaying his supporters to his own cause. In the shadows, alliances formed and shattered, revealing the shifting sands of loyalty and ambition. Dara, undeterred by setbacks, formed an alliance with the elusive Shah Shuja. However, Aurangzeb lured Shuja into relinquishing his claim in exchange for the governorship of Bengal, leaving Dara isolated and vulnerable. With Shuja and Murad out of the way and Shah Jahan himself confined, Aurangzeb's unwavering pursuit of power culminated in a relentless chase of Dara across vast lands, a journey that spanned the contours of modern-day India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan. A tapestry of battles and betrayals played out, painting a riveting picture of perseverance and cunning. Dara's eventual downfall was as tragic as it was inevitable. Betrayed by one of his own generals, he was captured, bound, and delivered into the hands of Aurangzeb, who orchestrated a grand coronation in Delhi. Dara, the once heir apparent, now marched in chains through the bustling streets he once dreamed of ruling. His ultimate fate was sealed as he faced execution, shrouded in tales of ruthless cruelty that surrounded his tragic end. Aurangzeb's ruthless rise to power was complete. As history's curtain closed on these gripping events, Shah Jahan, a symbol of past opulence and architectural marvels, languished under house arrest, confined within the very shadow of his awe-inspiring creation, the Taj Mahal. He stood as a poignant reminder of the transient nature of power and the intricate web of human ambition. The period of Aurangzeb's rule marked a significant departure from the previous Mughal rulers' policies, particularly in terms of religious tolerance and cultural openness. Prior to Aurangzeb, the Mughal emperors, influenced by Sufi precepts and syncretic practices, had displayed a remarkable degree of acceptance towards various religions and cultures within their empire. Aurangzeb, however, took a more orthodox and rigid approach to Islam, interpreting it in a strict manner based on the Sharia. His Fatwa-e-Alamgir I, a compilation of edicts, represented an attempt to standardize Islamic principles and behaviors according to his understanding. By doing so, he aimed to assert his authority over both religious and political matters. One of the most notable changes during Aurangzeb's reign was his prohibition of various cultural practices. Music and dancing, once integral to Mughal court life, were banned due to his interpretation of Islam. Similarly, the production of representational artwork, including the exquisite miniature paintings that had flourished under previous rulers, was halted. This shift had a profound impact on the cultural landscape of the empire. Moreover, Aurangzeb's policies targeted non-Muslims as well. He actively interfered with their worship and religious practices. Hindu temples were destroyed, non-Muslim religious gatherings were prohibited, and religious schools were closed down. These measures created an atmosphere of religious intolerance and persecution, which contrasted sharply with the religious pluralism that had characterized earlier Mughal rule. The enforcement of these policies led to a sense of fear and oppression among non-Muslims. This, in turn, fueled political and military rebellions against Aurangzeb's rule. Many non-Muslim communities, feeling marginalized and threatened, sought to resist these changes and protect their religious and cultural heritage. The Mughal infrastructure also suffered as corruption and arbitrariness took hold in the face of the strict regulations imposed by Aurangzeb. The shift from Akbar's inclusive approach to Aurangzeb's exclusivist policies highlights the complex dynamics within the Mughal dynasty and the challenges of maintaining a diverse and tolerant empire. Aurangzeb's reign left a lasting impact on India's history, shaping perceptions of the Mughal dynasty and its interactions with various religious and cultural groups. During his reign, Aurangzeb was like a strategic mastermind, leading his colossal armies in a dance of conquest. From the northern frontiers to the southern expanses, he relentlessly expanded his empire, leaving no stone unturned. The clash of swords and the echoes of his campaigns painted a vivid picture of his ambition. Aurangzeb's gaze turned northwest, where Punjab and Afghanistan felt the weight of his ambition. With a fearless determination, he marched south, triumphing over his former adversaries in Bijapur and Golconda. Even the Maratha territories, spiritedly liberated by Shivaji, felt the tremors of his pursuits. Yet the price of his success was steep, measured in both lives and riches. As the Mughal dominion grew, its chain of command weakened, resembling a tapestry stretched to its limits. The Sikhs of Punjab and rebellious Hindus found their voices, their strength surging against his might. Aurangzeb's battleground extended to the Deccan, a theater of constant warfare that drained his resources. Even his once loyal Rajputs, the backbone of his strength, grew restless under his rule. These valiant warriors, predominantly Hindu, had carried his banner high, but the flames of rebellion kindled upon his departure from this world. As the curtain closed on his era, his political sway diminished, allowing his generals and governors to rise in prominence, casting their own shadows upon the empire he had fought so hard to expand. During the reign of Aurangzeb, a Mughal emperor in India during the 17th century, a substantial number of Indians converted to Islam. This phenomenon was influenced by a combination of factors, including Aurangzeb's policies, incentives, and the broader socio-political context of the time. Aurangzeb's primary goal was the propagation of Islam and the establishment of an Islamic state. He sought to encourage conversion through a variety of means. As mentioned, he provided robes of honor, cash gifts, and promotions to those who converted. This created an atmosphere where converting to Islam became associated with gaining favor and benefits from the emperor. While some historical accounts suggest that Aurangzeb employed forceful methods to convert people, the extent to which this occurred is still debated among historians. Some argue that instances of forced conversions might have been exaggerated or misinterpreted over time. Nonetheless, it's well documented that Aurangzeb implemented policies that favored Muslims over non-Muslims in economic and political matters. This unequal treatment likely played a role in creating an environment where conversion to Islam was perceived as advantageous. Aurangzeb's rule also saw interference with non-Muslim religious practices. He imposed restrictions on various cultural and religious activities, including the destruction of temples and the imposition of taxes on non-Muslims. These actions undoubtedly contributed to making the conversion to Islam a more appealing option for some individuals who wished to avoid such difficulties. While these policies and practices created a conducive climate for conversion, other factors were also at play. Social, economic, and political considerations might have motivated some individuals to convert. Conversion could provide access to better opportunities, privileges, and protections within the empire. However, it's important to note that not all conversions were solely based on practical considerations. Some individuals likely converted out of genuine belief in Islam, inspired by Aurangzeb's religious fervor and his unwavering commitment to his faith. His consistency in implementing policies and promoting Islamic values made him a powerful figure whose actions had a lasting impact on the religious landscape of the region. Aurangzeb's reign is often remembered for the widespread desecration and destruction of Hindu temples, a topic that remains both cited and controversial. This aspect of his rule reflects a complex interplay of historical, religious, and political factors. During Aurangzeb's rule, which spanned from 1658 to 1707, numerous Hindu temples were targeted. These temples suffered a range of fates, from defacement and looting of images to complete demolition. In some cases, mosques were constructed on the same sites, using the stones from the destroyed temples. Aurangzeb's edicts and orders provide insight into his authorization and encouragement of these actions. Scholars offer varying interpretations of Aurangzeb's motivations. Two primary views dominate the discussion: political and military motivations. According to this view, temple destruction was driven by political and military events. It was seen as a means of asserting imperial power and punishing rebellious communities. Destruction was meant to serve as a warning to others and establish the authority of the Mughal Empire. Once the desired point was made, the destruction ceased. Religious and ideological motivations. Some scholars argue that Aurangzeb's actions were influenced by his adherence to strict Islamic precepts. In this interpretation, the destruction of temples was not necessarily tied to political considerations, but rather driven by a desire to uphold Islamic beliefs and practices. However, historical evidence offers conflicting information, leading to debates about Aurangzeb's true motivations. For instance, records indicate that while he destroyed some temples, he also authorized subsidies for others. This inconsistency adds complexity to the understanding of his intentions. Notably, two of the most revered Hindu temples were affected by Aurangzeb's actions. In Mathura, the Kesava Deo temple, believed to be the birthplace of Lord Krishna, was demolished, and the Katra Masjid Mosque was erected in its place. Similarly, in Varanasi, the Vishwanath temple dedicated to Lord Shiva was torn down, and the Gyanvapi Mosque was constructed on the site. The legacy of these actions remains emotionally charged. The destruction of temples and the subsequent building of mosques on their foundations has left a lasting impact on the religious and cultural landscape of India. The debate surrounding these events draws parallels to more recent incidents, such as the Ayodhya Mosque demolition in 1992, which sparked communal tensions and conflicts. Additionally, claims about the origins of the Taj Mahal also add to the discourse. Some theories propose that the Taj Mahal was built over a Hindu site or suggest alternative origins for the iconic monument.